Hello everyone. Today we are going to look into the novel Never Let Me Go written by Ishiguro. This novel has been considered as a science fiction and it is also called as a futuristic play. And let's look into the storyboard of the novel Never Let Me Go. And the whole novel begins with Kathy narrating the story of her past, and she used to attend a school called Hailsham. The whole story begins with Hailsham, the school where these three main characters, Kathy, Ruth, and Tommy. And Kathy is brought into a contact with her old friends, namely Ruth and Tommy. And Kathy, reminiscence about Hailsham. She remembers in the beginning of the novel, she recalls the life of Hailsham the three people had. And the madam takes the people's best picture. They give them training better than the people outside, no normal human beings. These three are cloned. They give them better education and they try to teach them in the skill sets like art, drawing, all those skill sets. And their pictures and all those things, whatever they draw, they put them in a gallery. And Kathy is extremely upset when her album goes missing. That album that sets the title of the novel, Never Let Me Go. And Miss Lucy reminds the students that they are clones. One of the guardians, they are not called teachers, they are called as guardians in the novel. That is a nomenclature used by Ishiguro in the novel. One of the guardians, Miss Lucy, she reveals the truth, the fact that these are the students studying in Elsham are all clones, and they are all uh, living there to just to donate their organs. When they leave the school, Kathy, Ruth, after a certain age, after this particular age, when they leave, they go to the next place called in the novel called the cottages. And there in the cottage, for the first time, these three people, the clones, they come out of Aylsham. A trip is taken to Norfolk where Ruth's possible has been spotted. There has been a rumor where people say that there is somebody who's resembles like you, and then they go and try to see the person. And Tommy dies at the novel. That novel ends with Kathy driving in her car. And finally, Kathy becomes Tommy's carer and they begin a relationship. And this is all about a love triangle between these three people. First, you find Ruth loves Tommy, and later, after she dies, Kathy also loves Tommy. And finally, the novel ends. So the title, what does the title Never Let Me Go suggest? Where it has been taken from? The source of the title Never Let Me Go. It is a metaphorical baby in the form of a pillow and crooning to it. It reminds the reader that despite the clones being infertile, they cannot produce a child, and they still desire to feel some emotional connection to someone, as in a mother with a child. This has been seen in the way Ruth hints that one of the guardians has given her a pencil case. And there is no evidence either the paternal or maternal figure for the clones, who are instead raised by the guardians who are meant to keep their emotional distance from the children. And the title, Never Let Me Go, has been taken from the song, and it has a strong reaction to the title. It highlights how much the clones desire to belong to someone or something apart from the other clones. And furthermore, the title of both the song and Ishiguro's novel aptly describes how clones like Kathy relate to society as they refuse to rebel and escape the donor system, which has been created by the so-called no uh, the business people, those who involved in terms of receiving the no organs. Instead, they see it as a secure place to belong. Kathy even says that she will welcome the chance to rest when she becomes a donor. The setting of the novel, which sets in 1990s of in England, where Aylsham and Ishiguro also creates no he had a time to make a medical and scientific discoveries after the Second World War, for those to be built into a social system by the time Kathy, Ruth, Tommy are born in the mid of late 1960s. By the time the story begins, no, she says her age is 31, which means these people would have been born immediately after the Second World War. It all happened so rapidly. There wasn't a time to take stock to ask a sensible question. They never ask any question. See, being a clone, they never ask any question. They are not allowed to no think beyond whatever they are supposed to obey. No, listen to the other guardian's message or whatever it is. They are just to carry out the task, whatever that has been said. And it has a number of settings like no. Uh, She always drives in a car and she drives all over the country. There are several places mentioned in the novel, like Worcestershire, North Wales, and Suffolk. No, as she visits her donors and attends to the paperwork, and somewhere she has to no, she has her own bed sit, the place in the room. Although we never see her in that particular bed sit, and it is not usually a permanent home for her. Through these details, Ishiguro implies that his narrator is rootless, which place she or he is from. She has no parents. She does not know who is her parent. And Aylsham has been closed down at the end of the novel that she comes across the mess. No? She hears that message that Aylsham is shut, and she is constantly on the move, passing through the from one place to another place. At the end of the novel, you see she is moving towards Norfolk. And when it comes to voice of Kathy is the narrator, and the first person narration has been chosen by Ishiguro, and Kathy narrates the whole story. And Ishiguro also uses the narrative technique of flashback and flash forward. So here and there, now and then, you find it shifts. No, there is a shift of going back to the past and coming to the present. Analepsis. No, he uses this kind of techniques, flash forward and flash back. And looking at no, if you read the novel, her voice is something a painstaking, and there is a dull inner voice, and the voice is flat. There is no round at all, no moving, having shift from the mood from happy mood to sad or normal one. At the same time, several times you find in the novel there has been a repetition used by Ishiguro, and sometimes her voice is controlled and there is no humor in the novel at all. She repeats the cautious, I do not know how it was where you were. And that shows there is no kind of a clear cut message. She's doubtful about it. Several times it seems as if she is trying to be honest with the reader and spell out everything that is worrying her. Her real worries are concealed behind the recollection of trivia such as a token's controversy and the detailed account of school life at Hailsham and her often troubled relationship with Ruth and Tommy, both there and at the cottages, is deeply frightened and lonely woman. As a lonely woman, as a narrator, she openly confronts her deepest fears and feelings, and she never writes about them. The meaning of the novel conveyed by the influence rather than taking anything its narrator says as the truth about what is really happening. And the critics call Kathy as an unreliable narrator used by Ishiguro. With that, I will stop. Thank you.